Welcome back, fellow lords of gaming. Let's have a conversation. It's time to get real. So in the recent developers note, they released something about costumes and Omega cards and the fusion options on costumes. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. I'm not going to lie to you. I've recorded this video 3 times because I don't want to throw you guys off, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the Netmarble devs either, because I want to be constructive. But inside the dev note, they basically said having to spend a lot of effort and currency on costumes and Omega cards just to repeat the process every time you add a new hero is not the direction that the dev team wanted. They are thinking about ways of adding a feature to convert costumes and Omega cards so that when we have a new hero, we can convert these over to those new heroes. They also talked about the Nano Fusion and how the options in a Nano Fusion cannot be changed, and they want to find a way to allow the changes of a Nano Fusion options. Okay, so this is the part where we're going to get real. Please, guys, stick around for the conversation. Watch the video because I feel like there's going to be something of value here for you to understand. In reading the things that they had to say about the Blitz system, I felt like this was the most disingenuous thing that they wrote inside here. And it was disingenuous from the very point that the game launched, and is disingenuous even now. Adding a method to convert Omega cards or costumes in this game does not reduce any effort or any currency that is currently being spent, regardless of whether the dev team adds a gold feature so that way you convert, an Omega point feature so that way you can convert, an actual dollar value to convert. No method that you actually add inside this game reduces effort or currency by having me convert items to go onto a new character. Let me explain. So inside this game right now at writ large, there is absolutely no way for you to truly obtain some set items inside the game. Meaning, for instance, that if I wanted to actually acquire the Rise of the East costumes, the Eyes of the Osiris costumes, or the Steampunk costumes, there's no way for you to really obtain those other than to draw on those events. But the actual value of drawing those events is significantly expensive, because if you looked at this value of an Omega point, and you remember the video that I did previously of what the value of an Omega point is, where, you know, basically every 100 Omega points is equal to $150 US. You understand really quickly that when I'm purchasing this piece at 2,000 Omega points, that's a lot. And that's not the whole set. That's one piece. Not the whole set, one piece. So it's disingenuous by saying that they want to add a conversion method inside here, because that's not what you're essentially doing, right? So I want to make this point clear to some of you guys, right? So like, I don't even care about the Eyes of Osiris set, but when we look at some of like the best in slot options that are regional pieces of gear and stuff like that, they're reduced value inside here. You can see it's like 500 per piece. So you like, there's an Omega point system in terms of purchasing and battle badges and stuff like that. Perfectly comfortable with these sets being sat up inside the shop, so that way you can go purchase them. You know, like they have the Mirror Dimension class skill level, that's a specific skill, and the Illusion Magic class specific. This is fine. You know what, you want to add these costumes, why do you have them sitting here at such exorbitant rates though? That's my question. Why are these sitting at such exorbitant rates? We don't know, right? Like, if I really wanted to be genuine about, you know, decreasing the level of effort and currency, then I would just decrease the level of effort and currency. If you wanted to put the Rise of the East, Eyes of the Osiris, and Steampunk costumes and just put them in the featured event the same way you did the Marvel Studios Avengers in-game costume bundle, and just charge me a flat out rate for it, that'd be acceptable. It'd be more acceptable than the current model where I'm paying thousands of dollars. Let me explain this, guys. At the current model, what they're doing is they're asking for you to draw with terrible rates to get these items. And that's the acquisition model for it. You have to draw for these items, right? You have to make a draw for them. Here goes the bad part. They're not asking you to draw once. They're actually asking you to draw 6 times, because this brings into the Nano Fusion, right? In order to Nano infuse an option, I can't have a Hydra Empire set, and then a 6-star God of Magic set, right? I have to have a Hydra Empire piece. So if I go inside here, I have to have the Eyes of the Osiris cloak, right? And in order to get these 6 stars on here, 6 stars, I need to have 6 pieces of that gear. I did the nano fusion for you guys. I did my first nano fusion on an item inside my shop. So let me show it to you, right? Here goes my character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. In order to get this 6-star, I need to have these Hydra Empire boots. I have to have those Hydra Empire boots 6 times to do nano fusion. 6 times. So they're not asking you to just acquire the set. They're asking you to do it multiple times. The same thing happens with the Omega cards, right? When I look at the Omega cards, having me convert these Omega cards by having some kind of conversion method, whether it's Omega points, cash, gold, it's still not taking away any less of the effort or the currency involved in this. If I looked at Marvel Future Fight, I acquire Omega cards or premium cards, right? And non-premium cards, and I put together a complete set. The difference inside this game and that game is that this is exclusive to each character. Whereas opposed to this could have just been something that was squad rank exclusive. I collect Omega cards. I can build multiple sets and equip multiple sets of the Omega cards the same way I do my skills. And it could have just been simply underneath here, but that's not what they did. So now adding a conversion tool for that, so that way it now has to be converted to go over to like Magic when she comes out, or Thor when he comes out, or Nova when he's released, or this character, you're not decreasing the level of effort. You're not decreasing the level of currency. You've just added another layer of effort and another layer of currency for me to have to do something. The point is that you're trying to tell players in one section that you were trying to endear people to the Marvel universe and Marvel content that you know they love. But that's not what you were doing. You're literally making money, which is a good point. You should be making money, right? You deserve to make money. But you're not endearing me to the character if you're telling me that in order for me to play this new character and invest in him, I got to strip a previous character that I was, in love with, and now I need that to move over. The point is that I want to be able to play characters on a different given basis. I've got 8 characters in this pool right now, and I've literally invested nothing into the other characters because the cost of investing into that character is ridiculously high. This feels like the most disingenuous part of the conversation that they've had in here because it just doesn't jive well. Nano Fusion requires you to have the purchase of 6 characters. So if I invested in Eyes of Osiris, Rise of the East, or anything, I'm not investing just once in terms of acquisition. I'm investing twice or 6 times across the board to get that 6-star piece. The workshop inside here is lackluster at best. We literally have 2 crafting methods in order to acquire costumes and then to enhance them. Why do we have 2 crafting systems just from enhancing and acquiring costumes? Why are the costumes not just dropping in game? They should just be dropping in the open world. I shouldn't have to pay anything, craft these systems. They should just be dropping. Let them drop. The cost of crafting and enhancing and infusing crafting these costumes from 1 to 6-star is exorbitant, right? I'd basically need like 10,000 1-star pieces in order to get a piece from 1 to 10 or 1 to 6, right? And that's multiple pieces now. So if I do that for a complete set, it's going to take me, I think somebody did it on the Reddit forum where they basically equated it out, and it was something like 6 months to, 3/4 of a year in order to get a full 6-star piece. That doesn't make any sense. I literally have 2 craftings, and then you actually tell people that it's at a low chance rate to acquire these set pieces. Why are they not just dropping in the open world? Why are these pieces not literally just dropping from world bosses specifically to these things? If I looked at BDO, for instance, right? Costumes are just sold inside the shop. I pay for a costume because it's there. I like the look of the costume. I pay for that costume, and then the costumes that drop inside the world, the actual set pieces, I have to work towards those. So I deal with the drop rates of the bosses and stuff like that, and that's it. This is the way it works. That's the way it works for most MMOs. But you guys have literally went beyond the pale in terms of your store options, because you literally told us by adding in these Omega points inside here that where you truly value these costumes at. A Rise of the East costume is going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars. It's going to literally cost me thousands of dollars in order to obtain this and get it to a six-star infusion piece. Because I'm collecting it 6 times, guys. At this point right now, I would literally have to obtain all 4 of these pieces 6 times in order to level it up. Yes, 6 times. By the way, they're not even giving you this piece at 6 stars. They're giving you the fucking piece at 4 stars. So you still got to level it up to 6 stars. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I feel like this part of the conversation with the Netmarble devs is the one place that I just feel like the conversation is woefully disingenuous. I don't feel like it's actual to the point. I don't feel like it's actually discussing this in a meaningful way. I feel like they're screwing with us in regards to this, and it just feels disingenuous. There needs to be one crafting model in the game. You want to enhance costumes and get them from level 1 to 6. That's one crafting model. The acquisition method for these should be keeping players in the open world, and these items should be dropping. The Dark Domain, the Eyes of Osiris set should drop from Dormammu. The Eyes of Osiris, I don't know where the Eyes of Osiris set came from. It looks like it's just an exclusive set, so maybe that doesn't relegate itself to, Dormammu or something like that, but you just put it inside the cash shop the same way you put the Marvel Endgame set inside the cash shop, and you directly tell us that you want us to pay, $50, $7,500 for this, but telling us you want us to pay $1,000 for this. I would love to know from the whales and other YouTube creators, is that a sustainable model in the game? This feels so disingenuous. The Omega cards should literally just be something that's listed inside the squad. They should just be reflected the same exact way they are inside Marvel Future Fight. It makes the most amount of sense instead of me having to spend the effort and the currency on having to convert cards from another character, from one character to another. If I looked inside my Omega card system, I've got two Captain America Living Legends cards. So if I could convert the first one over, what do I do with the second one? What do I do with the second one? This would have probably been the best place for you to just add a nano fusion where I needed the light card in order to fuse it up, right? Because this would make more sense for me to have the Captain America Living Legend card right here. And in order for me to get the next star, I needed another Captain America Living Legend, especially if this card set was not unique to just the one character, but across the entire squad. Then I have more reason to just continue doing draws and be like, oh, maybe I'll get another Captain America Living Legend card and I'll increase the star in that. Maybe I'll get another. You see what I'm saying? Like, that would have made more sense for this other than the costumes. It just doesn't make sense. It feels like there's a big misunderstanding and a disingenuous nature that comes across when this costume and this nano fusion thing has changed. And to be honest with you guys, I don't see this changing. I really don't. Which is why I suggested free-to-play costume options inside the game versus you guys, investing money inside, because I just don't see it changing. The whole point is that when you come out with multiples of these sets, I want to be able to engage my character in multiple sets. So if I got Doctor Strange, right, and I have the sets for Doctor Strange and I change the looks on Doctor Strange for him, I want to be able to play Thor later on, and I want to acquire those looks for him as well and have them equipped to him. I don't want to have to convert the set. Now I leave behind my Doctor Strange because he doesn't have those Omega cards. He doesn't have those costume sets. And then I have Thor because now I'm still just locked into playing one character instead of being able to say I have a Doctor Strange, I have a Thor, I have this character, and I feel like I have a team of invested characters. That's essentially the intent, right, guys, is for me to invest in all these characters, or you're just trying to roll over my investment every single time, because that's just ridiculous. All right, guys, I wish I had some constructive things to say. I gave some suggestions or whatever, but I wish I had some more constructive things to say without feeling like I was beaten up. But I felt like this is the most disingenuous part of the game. Saying that you want to reduce the effort in currency. You cannot reduce the effort nor the currency on these costumes or Omega cards and nano fusions without actually reducing the currency. Adding in another layer that requires more effort and requires more currency is not a true decrease of my effort and my currency. It's not genuine at all. I just feel that way. All right, guys, until next time, peace.